London in the summer of 1720 was a city gripped by a financial fever. Inside the crowded, smoke-filled coffee houses off Threadneedle Street, the only thing anyone cared about was the stock market. Bishops, merchants, and even servants were all chasing the exact same piece of paper. This chart shows the target of their obsession: shares in the South Sea Company. Starting at roughly £100 a share in January, the price rocketed to over £1,000 by August. The gravity of this ascent pulled in almost everyone. Even Isaac Newton, one of the most rational minds of his era, liquidated safe government investments just to pour his cash into the rising stock. Observers at the time could see the absurdity. Artists drew satirical prints of speculators riding a merry-go-round of greed, tossing their fortunes into a literal void. Yet people willingly handed over their money anyway. The 1720 delirium was a carefully engineered illusion, built on the foundations of a state-approved trap. To understand the trap, you have to look beneath the paper wealth at the condition of the British state. After decades of war, the government was choking on tens of millions of pounds of sovereign debt and practically bankrupt. Enter the South Sea Company. While it carried a grand name and a supposed monopoly to trade in Spanish America, its actual commercial operations were negligible. Its real purpose was to act as a massive financial vehicle for the British government. Here is the core mechanic: a debt for equity swap. The government asked citizens holding secure, low-paying state bonds to trade them for high-yield shares. You surrender your safe claim on the state, and in return, you get ownership in a soaring enterprise. To convince the public this was a safe bet, the company needed the political elite. Ministers and lawmakers were secretly allocated shares on credit. They officially endorsed the company in Parliament, taking zero risk while pocketing the profits as the price went up. By wrapping a risky financial swap in the authority of the Crown, the state created an irresistible bait. They weaponized the public's trust to solve their own balance sheet problem. But how could an ordinary clerk or shopkeeper afford a stock priced at £1,000? The company introduced a silent killer called subscriptions. This graphic demonstrates speculative leverage. Instead of paying full price, buyers could put down just a fraction up front, agreeing to pay the rest in future installments. A few coins could secure a massive block of shares, making small investors feel incredibly rich on paper. Leverage created a terrifyingly fragile ecosystem. The millions of pounds circulating in the London stock market weren't backed by actual capital. The entire system rested on delayed obligations. Observers who understood the math saw the disaster coming. Archibald Hutchison, a member of Parliament, published extensive calculations proving that the company's real trading income could never generate the dividends required to justify the inflated share price. Leverage is a wonderful engine on the way up, but it has a fatal flaw. Eventually, the calendar advances, the installment period ends, and the remaining balance must be paid in hard cash. By August 1720, those installment bills came due. To keep the prices elevated, the market suddenly needed real liquidity, actual gold and silver, to pay for the shares they had bought on credit. At that exact moment, the insiders quietly headed for the exits. Corrupt company directors and foreign investors saw the strain and began cashing out, taking the real money and initiating the first major price drops. Those initial drops triggered a margin call. Brokers demanded immediate payment from the leveraged buyers. Because those buyers didn't have the cash on hand, they were forced to sell their shares to cover their debts. This chart reveals the resulting death spiral. Forced selling flooded the market, pushing the price lower, which triggered even more margin calls. In a matter of weeks, the line came crashing down, completely erasing the summer's paper fortunes. The exact financial machinery that created the illusion of infinite wealth was the same machinery that executed the public's ruin. The physical toll of the crash was devastating. Estates were lost, lifelong savings evaporated, and bankruptcy spiked. A ruined public was suddenly howling for blood and retribution. To appease the mob, Parliament launched an inquiry. The secret ledgers were dragged into the light, and a few high-profile company directors were disgraced, their personal assets seized to compensate the victims. One shrewd politician, Robert Walpole, masterfully used the crisis to his advantage.
He presented himself as the steady hand needed to clean up the mess, stepping over the disgraced directors to become Britain's first effective prime minister. The anger was neatly redirected. By punishing a few highly visible scapegoats, the true underlying architecture of the financial system was completely protected from the public's wrath. And this reveals the darkest truth of 1720. While ordinary citizens were left destitute, the British government walked away with exactly what it had set out to get. As this visualization shows, the crushing war debt didn't return to the government's books. It had been successfully swallowed and neutralized by the company, securing a permanently lower interest rate and clearing the nation's balance sheet for a century of global expansion. When state power and financial leverage align, they form a highly efficient mechanism of wealth extraction.
Coiled spring strategy. Profit from volatility before the market breaks.